address you for your support. My nomination papers that I submitted earlier go into great detail to my qualifications and my experience in criminal law. Essentially, I have a 20-year commitment in equal justice, a 20-year commitment for victims' rights, a 20-year commitment of protecting our most vulnerable, those who have been victimized by serious or violent crimes, and especially those who are children, the elderly, the disabled, and victims of hate crimes. For 20 years, I have been advocating for the expansion of victim services, including counseling, for restitution to victims, and for victim compensation. I've supported state-of-the-art equipment for our law enforcement officers so they can do their job. I've supported community-oriented policing in order to bridge the gap between law enforcement and our citizens. I abhor prison overcrowding. I do not believe that we should be incarcerating people with what little resources that we have, who are victimless crimes, or very minor drug offenses. And I completely supported the bipartisan sentencing commission in order to make sure that the punishment is always commensurate with crime in California. I support DNA testing to make sure that innocent people who have been incarcerated do not remain incarcerated wrongfully, and that we put away and convict those who are in fact guilty. Now, over the last few years, especially the last year, I have been approached by a great deal of people in our community, hundreds. I have been approached by victim advocates, by therapists who counsel victims of crime. I've been approached by victims of crime and their surviving family members. I have been approached by law enforcement, and they've all asked me the same thing. They have asked me to step up to the plate, and to do something for my community, to take on the job and the role of district attorney. They tell me that the current system is broken, and they have told me that they believe that I have the knowledge, the experience, the leadership, and the determination to take over as your next district attorney and to make the changes that absolutely must be made. They've told me that this county actually deserves a district attorney's office and a district attorney with the experience and the administrative skills and the commitment to stop the endless revolving door plea bargains in this county in which the punishment does not fit the crime and which has left victims of crime feeling either ignored or feeling like their rights have just simply not been enforced. I am a fourth-generation Democrat. I'm very proud of it. I registered when I was 18 as a Democrat, and I voted in every election and supported all my candidates. I'd had the support of members of this community, members like Sally Tanner, Pat Hofstetter, Betty Chin, Marianne Hayes, Mariani, Cassie Burgess, Diane Green, and HDSO, all saying that they support me and they endorse me to be your next district attorney. As Democrats, we are the party of justice and we stand for justice. We protect the vulnerable, and when we see and when we hear from those who are not being protected, we listen and we act. And for that reason, and for 129,000 others, which represent every child, every woman, and every man in this county, I'm asking for your support.
Larry?
Well, you said two things that kind of mixed me up. One is that you said we want to reduce the revolving door of our court system, and at the same time you wanted to make sure that people didn't wrongfully go to jail. Those seem a little in opposition.
I don't believe they're in opposition at all. First of all, I want to reduce the revolving door of plea bargains where you have, when you are taking dispositions to crimes and the punishment does not fit the crime. Okay? That's a totally different thing. People should not be convicted and go to prison merely because they're in the system. They need to go to prison because we can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they committed the crime. And if that doesn't happen, you just don't take a lesser plea to a lesser offense for expedience. Does that answer your question?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
Well, Larry, you can call me afterwards and we can talk about it.
So Allison, what you're saying is that at this point in time, there's a lot of plea bargaining where criminals that are definitely, if they were prosecuted correctly, would be probably found guilty, but they're being let go under a lower sentence or a lower crime because of expediency.
Basically, yes. What I have seen when I pick up the paper is that we have first-degree homicide after first-degree homicide after first-degree homicide that has been plea bargained down to voluntary manslaughter. We have rape cases that are being disposed of as false imprisonment cases or trespassing. What that tells me is that either defendants are their rights are being violated because cases aren't being evaluated and they are being mischarged, or in the alternative, victims are being shortchanged. You can't have both of those at the same time. Now, occasionally you will have a case, or should have a case, where something will happen, but when it occurs on a routine basis, time and time and time again, something is broken, and that is what victims of crime have said to me, that is what law enforcement has said to me, that is what victims advocates have said to me, and therapists have said to me, and that is precisely why I have decided to leave an extremely successful private practice in one of the oldest and most successful firms in this county, to step up to do the job that needs to be done.
Thank you.
Thank you.